good morning. I'm welcoming you to my little humble abode, and we're going to be doing a Yinish yoga class, basically a Yin yoga class of poses that we're going to hold for a few minutes. I have a foam roller right here that I may use, and I have some bolsters, a strap, some blocks, and cushions. You might, if you have problems with your knee, you might have a washcloth or something to put behind your knee when you're doing some postures. That I find that helps. I have a bad knee. So without further ado, I will begin the class. And so we'll just sit on the floor and we'll put our feet together. This is called butterfly. And you can stack up different things underneath your legs if you find it too much of a strain. You can also, if you need to, sit on a wall if you need some support, and put your feet this way. If you're sitting at the wall, you want to make sure that you're not flat against the wall, that you have natural curvature of the spine, and that you are lifting your collarbones up. So however you're sitting, depending on your ability. You also might be sitting in a chair and just breathing. We're going to begin just with some breath. And the theme today is finding ease and equilibrium. And we all have difficulties in our lives from time to time. I have a very easeful life in lots of ways nowadays, but different challenges come up, and I find that I am responding differently to them now, that I am less, for lack of a better word, hysterical, because I am a very dramatic person, and I just find myself easing myself into different difficult situations and easing my way out of them. And I attribute that to my yoga practice and to my readings. So we'll begin. And the quote that I am going to use as a little touchstone, I've got several readings, but one of them is from the Buddha. It's praise and blame, gain and loss, pleasure and sorrow, come and go like the wind. Our goal then is to rest like a giant tree in the midst of them. So praise and blame, gain and loss, pleasure and sorrow, come and go like the wind. And our goal is to rest like a giant tree in the midst of them. Now, while I'm just holding onto my toes here, and I'm just letting my legs fall out, and I'm trying to work with my back, not slouched like this, but sitting up with a sense of openness in my collarbone here. My heart is open to a sky. I have a wonderful teacher. I have many wonderful teachers, but one of them has a large tree outside of her yoga space, and she imagines herself as that large tree. And I suddenly realized I have a beautiful, like 100-year-old fir tree that's seen better days. It's been battered in many a winter, but it's still standing there still a powerful presence, and it's where many birds nest. So I'm just sitting in this position, feeling my groin opening a little as I breathe. And my breath is simply an inhalation for 4 and a hold for 4 and an exhalation for 5. So inhale, hold, and exhale. We're inhaling through our nose, hold, and we're exhaling through our nose. Inhale, hold, and exhale. Inhale, hold, and exhale. And then one last time. Inhale, hold, and exhale. Good. Now, I'm going to invite us to do a pose that is quite painful for me, as I have gnarly toes, but a very good one. And as I mentioned the last time, one of the indicators of when someone might fall is when their toes are immobilized, because they help us balance so much. So this one is a toe squat in Yin language, and you just put your toes down like this, and you sit back on your heels. Now, in Yin Yoga, you have that sense of moving towards your edge. So you may have, one of my teachers has had broken feet. So she's like this for a while. Or if you have very stiff toes, you might be like this. And you're just, basically kind of pressing back into your toes, but not terribly hard. You're just basically getting them acclimatized to the pose. And then you might breathe here for a while. And then you might find, I'm just setting my timer here. I'm not looking into the future here. So we'll just set the timer. So you might be here for a bit, or you might sit back on your feet and just see how that feels. Now, I'm finding this to be uncomfortable, but tolerable. And I'm just going to stay here for a moment or two. And once again, we're feeling that sense of breath and the beauty of the breath that allows us to move more deeply into our toes in this case. So we're inhaling and we're holding and we're exhaling. And the object of this is really to help with blood pressure, our blood pressure and hypertension, because the breathing, the regulating our breath like this and extending our exhalations really helps us regulate our blood pressure, apparently. And while we're there, I'm going to read a short poem on our theme of resting like a big tree in the midst of many emotions. Here is The Guest House by Rumi. This being human is a guest house. Every morning, a new arrival, a joy, a depression, a meanness. Some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all. Even if they are a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture, still treat each guest honorably. She may be clearing you out for some new delight. The dark thought, the shame, the malice, meet them at the door laughing and invite them in. Be grateful for whatever comes, because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. All right, and now I'm going to move forward and gingerly release my toes. And I'm going to put my feet flat on the ground in the opposite direction. And I'm going to sit back. Now, if you like, you can move back and lift your knees up. Now, I can't really do that, so I'm just lifting one knee up. And in doing so, I'm just allowing my foot to stretch in the opposite direction. And then I'm coming down. You regulate your own discomfort and feel however you're going to feel. So I am finding this quite a challenge. So I'm just going to sit down and point my toes. I think I can't do this radical stretching. If you can, go for it. I'm just going to stretch my toes out. I'm going to see if I can separate all my toes while I'm stretching them out. And then I'm going to point my feet. And then I'm going to point my heels and point my feet and stretch my heels out, extend my heels and point my feet, extend my heels. Good. Point my feet and extend my heels. Very good. And now I'm just going to massage my feet a bit. I'm going to pull on my toes. I'm going to massage those muscles in my feet. There are more bones in the feet, I think, than in any other part of the body. It's such a magical, mystical, marvelous part of the body with such intricate and effective structures inside. So I'm just massaging my feet a little here just to get them to come alive again. Very good. All right, enough with the feet. Now I'm just going to go back onto my back here, and I'm going to just point my toes, my heels, and rotate my ankles. And point my toes and my heels and rotate my ankles. Toes, heels, rotate my ankles. And I'm repeating that for a while. While I'm breathing, I'm inhaling, and then I'm exhaling. Inhaling, and I'm going to hold, and then I'm going to exhale. And I'm inhaling, hold, and then I'm going to exhale. Good. Now I'm going to grab my little toes here, and I'm just going to stretch one leg up and pull the other one back like a bow and arrow here. And then I'm going to stretch the other leg up and pull it back. So the one bent knee is coming down towards your armpit, and the other one is just stretching out. Now, if you can't hold onto your toes, you could just get a strap and put it around your foot. And if you don't have a strap, just press your heel towards the ceiling. And now we're going to do the other side, pressing that heel up, pulling this toe back so that you're like a bow and arrow. And once again, we're just breathing here. And we'll just stay here for a moment. You can feel the opening in your hamstrings, in your extended leg, and in the groin, in your bent leg. So the object of Yin Yoga is to feel a sense of ease and stillness. Feel yourself drifting into that with time. You may feel discomfort. You shouldn't feel any pain, but it's not really a comfortable position to be in. And now we're going to try the other side. The asymmetry of our body is a teaching tool. It tells me how I sit with my one leg crossed over the other, always the same side, always stretching and contracting the same muscles. So this side towards the left is more difficult. And I'm easing my leg down and I'm pulling on the other one. Now I'm bringing my feet back into kind of happy baby here with the heels up towards the ceiling. And now I'm just going to let that go. Plant the knees on the ground. And we'll open our legs out to the side, to the edges of the mat. And we'll just drop one knee down and slowly feel that extending your front hip flexor. And then we're going to drop the other knee down and feel the extension here in the front hip flexor. And then we're going to go back and forth in what's called windshield wiper. This is a lovely counter pose to what we were doing before. And it feels very good in your body. We're doing this very slowly. Windshield wiper is usually done as a kind of flowing movement. This is more of a move that has motion and then stasis. Okay, good. Now we'll just stretch our legs out here. And I think we'll just rest for a moment. And we'll reimagine that giant tree in the midst of the wind of all of our emotions that arrive unbidden. Good. Now we'll just roll onto our side and push ourselves up and find something to put underneath our back. Now I have a foam roller. Um, this is a small back bend here. You can have this foam roller. Now this will do two different things. You could also use, say, a block and a little blanket underneath your shoulders or a foam roller. So I'll try this and see how it feels. And this is just to give your back a little bit of an opening. So it's underneath your rib cage here. And the blanket is just to protect you. Now, I'm just folding over here and feeling this back bend. I have to confess that doesn't feel that great, but as long as you're not feeling any pain in your lower back, it should be okay. You might have to move it around so that you're in a position that feels all right. And you may want to put a little blanket or even you could put your hands behind your head if your neck is feeling anxious. So this is just to open your back up. So we are just opening our thoracic spine, which is the vertebrae that are attached around your ribs. And you feel really quite a magnificent chest opening here. I'm going to just see if I can try the foam roller and what that feels like. That might be a little bit more of an exaggerated movement here. And I definitely need something underneath my head with the foam roller. So there's that. That is a very large opening. And you just want to protect your lower back and make sure that the movement is in your thoracic spine and not scrunching up your lower back. Once again, your head should be supported here. We've been here probably for a minute, so we'll stay for a minute longer. Maybe we've been here for 2 minutes, but we should be able to manage this. Of course, you can come out of this at any time. You don't want to feel yourself ruinously strained. You want to give the fascia, those connective tissue, time and stillness to open up and breath. So we're going to inhale and then we're going to exhale. In, hold, out. In, hold, exhale. In, hold, and exhale. All right, now I'm just going to put my hands behind my head, lift my neck up, and move away from that structure. And I'm just going to bring my arms around my knees and give myself a big hug. And this little counter movement helps us with our re-entry into a simple sit. All right, that was all a big adventure. And now we are going to do a little bit of a twist. So we'll put both of our feet straight out. We might have a belt. If I can find my belt, here it is. Might have a belt here so that I've got my belt around my foot and I've got my spine moving up. It feels a bit different now. I'm going to rotate my shoulders a bit just to get my spine moving again after that lovely back bend and my neck moving again. All right, I'm putting my your right foot in your inner thigh. If you have a problem with your knee, you can put something between here. You could even actually put your hand here. Give yourself a little space. And I'm just holding on to a strap or your toe. And I'm trying to keep I can move the flesh in my buttocks back and feel myself moving forward at the hip. I might be elevating my hips a little on a blanket or just reaching forward or putting your hands on your shin. And then I'm going to move over and round my spine as I move down. And we're going to stay here for a moment. Once again, I'm inhaling and exhaling. I'm slightly twisted towards one side of the extended leg so that my chest is actually moving towards my collarbone is moving towards my foot. It's not as much down as it is out. And with every inhalation and exhalation, I feel myself moving towards my foot. And if I have an intention in this class, mine is finding a middle ground and the spaciousness to simply be present within the extremes that we can experience in a day. And now I'm just going to roll my spine up. And I'm going to just take this bent knee and switch it over to the outside of my thigh. And you can leave this leg straight if you like and simply rotate towards the bent knee. Or if you like, you can remove the strap, bend your knee, and rotate towards the uplifted knee and feel that sense of turning, that your spine is rotating. So in our Yin Yoga practice, we're moving our spine, we're developing spinal mobility, and we're feeling with it a sense of possibility. As we move into our day, we are feeling as though we are like a reed in the wind. The wind may batter us, but we are able to withstand by simply moving. And once again, my chest is open and my collarbone is lifting up, as well as the fact that I'm moving around. The movement is from the solar plexus, the Manipura, the chakra that's just below the belly button, 2 fingers below. That's where we start to move. The hara, good. And now we're just going to move around the other way. And I'm just putting my hands on the ground here and inviting a counter movement, a small counter movement here. Once again, the collarbone is moving up and around. And we're just going to move back to extend our legs out again. And I'm going to roll my shoulders back and move my shoulders forward and back and forward and up and back and forward. And I'm going to take my hands and I'm going to stretch them up. I'm going to stretch out my feet, stretch out my hands, and really stretch and wiggle. Some wiggling is required sometimes. Good. And I'm stretching my hands out and down. And now I'm going to put my hands behind me. My fingers are pointed to the back of the room. And I'm just going to lift up my legs here, just pressing into my hands and feeling that strength in my arms. Pressing up through my pelvis in this reverse plank. And now I'm ready to come down. Good. Stretch my heels out. And feel a sense of, oh, I don't know what powerful pose that is. All right. So once again, I've got both my legs out here and I've got a straight back. I'm not going forward too much. Just got my hands on my shins and I am holding the pose. My legs extended. Now I am extending my chest out towards my toes and holding onto my feet, or I'm holding onto my feet with a strap and feeling myself move down, whatever feels comfortable. We should feel that our soles of our feet are as though they are on a floor, so that our toe mounds are equally pressing out. And you can just let your head hang down if that's too much pressure. You can put a block here and rest your forehead on a block. You don't need to stress your neck out in these postures. You might find the longer you hold it, the more you can extend forward. And if you have a prop, you can move it to support your neck in a different place. And we're inhaling, holding, and then exhaling. Inhale, hold, exhale. Now we're just going to roll back up, remove the block, and we'll bring, in this case, your left leg in. We'll try the other side. We're just going to, once again, rotate towards that foot and extend ourselves down with a strap, without a strap. It's a slight twist here. We'll stay here for a minute or so. And once again, you may feel discomfort. You might find yourself moving back up and then moving down with your breath. You shouldn't feel pain. And now we're just going to roll ourselves back up and do a twist in the opposite direction. I'm just lifting that knee up and putting the left foot on the outside of the right thigh. You can, once again, you can leave your foot extended here and twist towards that raised up knee, or you can remove the strap and bend your foot and rotate. Now, I want us to think about rotating from 2 inches below our navel. We're starting there. That's where our spine is moving around. And we can hold on to our knee, clasp it in towards you. Once again, we're rising up as we're going around. Or you can use your arm, your upper arm against your thigh to provide you with a little more movement here. As you move from the hara, the solar plexus, that chakra just below, the energy center just below your navel. And we are looking out towards the back of the room. And we're staying here for a moment. As we inhale and exhale, let's take 3 breaths here. Inhale, hold, exhale. Inhale, hold, and exhale. Inhale, hold, and exhale. Good. Now we're going to come around to the front of the room and extend our legs out one more time. We're just going to shake them out. We're going to do some finger exercises here. Stretching out our knees, our back should have those lovely curves in it. We should feel that we can move our shoulders now and that our arms are a little bit fluid. Once again, we're like that reed in the middle of the river, moving with the wind, or the upper branches of that big tree, being buffeted by all kinds of experiences. And we're just going to use our fingers like spiders moving up the spine, the trunk of the tree, and then we're going to move them down again. And we're going to move them all around that tree and then all the way back this way. And we're moving them up and around. So our shoulders are moving, our fingers are moving, and we're clasping our thumbs and expressing our fingers out with great strength. So I've just got my arms in a kind of a stop sign here, and then I'm stretching my fingers out. And then I'm holding on to my making a fist and really pressing my hand together. Then I'm stretching them out. And once again, I'm going to do that 5 more times, feeling the sense of energy right to the fingertips. And now I'm going to move my wrists around one way and then the other. And my arms are getting quite tired, but this is a good strengthening exercise. And then I'm moving my wrists around the other way. And one more time. Now I'm going to just let my shoulders go and move my elbows around one way and then the other. In one way and then the other. Good. All right. So arms out, stretch your fingers out, and then give yourself a big hug because you are a beautiful being. You're a beautiful being in the world. Stretching your arms out one more time. Give yourself another big hug. Not only are you a beautiful being, but you're virtuous. You are doing yoga in the morning to set you up for your day. Arms out one more time. Or you're doing it in the evening, just before you go to bed, and you're all set for a deep, deep sleep. One more time. That's it. Now, okay, shake, shake, shake. Good. Now, we are going to move onto our stomach and do some lovely Yin Yoga poses they're quite powerful. And I'll do it this way so you can see me. I'm just pressing my toes into the mat here, and I'm moving down, and I'm pressing my toes. My toes get very cramped because of my various foot ankle injuries. So sometimes I just have to press my toes in and give them a good stretch like this. So you may not have that problem, but it can't do you any harm to stretch your toes out. Okay, now I'm just going to be in Sphinx here with my elbows underneath my shoulders. And I'm going to stay here for a moment or two. I've got my timer on here so I don't, there. All right. So I've got my elbows under my shoulders, and I'm feeling and this time I've got the tops of my feet on the ground, and I feel that there is an opening in my back. Now, I'm not overstressing my neck, and if you like, you can just support your head here if your neck is bothering you, or just leave it open. Now, The object of this is just to still the body and feel that you are moving in a quiet way with your breath. You're pressing into your elbows and the palms of your hands so that you are stimulating that lovely bend in your upper back. So this is a Sphinx pose, and you can move into what's called a seal pose in Yin Yoga by simply stretching your arms out a little bit wider than they were and straightening your arms. This gives you more of a back bend. If you find this really uncomfortable, then go back to the Sphinx. Once again, we're just feeling the opening in our back, feeling our chest open. We can widen our arms and feel our chest opening and our breath deepening. And you can lower down and just make a pillow with your hands and turn your head on the side and just rest here for a moment. Now you can move, just roll onto your back. And we're going to do a few more leg movements. So I have my strap still nearby. And I'm going to put something underneath my head. And I just want to show you something while you're resting there. You can watch me. This is a lovely way to have a blanket for your head. You have it folded in four or whatever that is, that's square. And then you make the one end of it a little bit higher. The one edge of it will go under your shoulders, and you can roll this side in to keep your head from moving. So you have a little bit of support underneath your shoulders, and your head is raised above your forehead is raised above, so that your forehead is above your chin. And you can roll this in a bit if you need to, and use it as a way to keep your head from moving from side to side. So this is a kind of restorative way of using a blanket. Sorry, my glasses are in the way, but it's a lovely way to support your head and to keep your forehead above your chin. So your neck is extended at the back. That's really effort here. All right. So I'm just stretching out on my back here. And I'm going to simply raise my knees up. And you can, sorry about this, I should have told you to get a block, but you can put 1 or 2 blocks underneath your leg here. And you can just lift your legs up. Now you can lift one leg up and extend it up with the other leg bent, if that's comfortable for you. And if you like, oops, my pants are falling down. If you like, you can lift the other leg up and extend it up. And it's a lovely way to feel an inversion. And if you like, you can move your legs towards your head, or you can keep pressing the feet straight up. If you like, you can open your legs out into a wide angle. We didn't do any of the wide leg sits in class today. So this is a lovely opening for your groin. And you can let gravity do a bit of the work here with the weight of your legs and your feet, allowing you to open out. And I'm pressing into my heels. This is quite an active pose, actually. Yin Yoga isn't really about relaxation. In fact, it's quite the opposite. It's quite a demanding practice. I'm kind of loving it more and more. And as I was telling a friend, its origins are a bit complicated, but it was originally called Taoist yoga because it was a Paul Greeley, who is in California, studied with a martial arts master who had studied with a very good teacher. And he did poses very slowly. And I was reading a book about Yin Yoga the other day, and the author mentioned that one of the early texts of yoga was translated into French. And instead of translating the word vessels into vessels, they translated the word vessels into meridians. So that when we think about meridians, and Yin Yoga is often discussed in relation to meridians that have to do with the various organs, and as in Chinese medicine and acupuncture, we think about meridians. We can, if we translate that as vessels, we can think about it as vessels that transport energy through our body, and that the Yin Yoga poses that we do, and we stay in one pose for a while, allows our vessels, our blood vessels, to move our blood into different parts of our body. And that's very healing, flushing, literally flushing different areas of our body with blood and oxygen. Okay, now I'm going to lift my legs up, and I'm just going to bend my knees and hold my knees into my chest. And I'm going to extend them out, push my feet into the ground, lift my pelvis up, and remove the block. And now we're ready, I think, for a lovely Shavasana. So you can put your legs up the wall if you haven't had enough of the inversions. You could put, I'm going to get a bolster and put it underneath my thighs because it feels good. And after all of that mobility in my spine, it gives it a bit of a release. So I've just got a bolster. You could use cushions. You could also put your legs up onto a chair if you wanted to. I'll show you how you might do that. Once again, I have my head under my the top of my head elevated somewhat. So you could have your legs resting on a chair or a sofa or a bed, or you could just have them folded over a bolster here. And I am doing a little bit of a pelvic tilt here just to sink my body into the ground, but nothing too extreme. And then I'm letting everything go. I'm letting my arms go, my neck go, my forehead, my nose. I'm feeling the skin on my cheekbones settle in. I'm feeling those lovely wrinkles at the edge of my eyes, letting go of the strain. I am feeling everything let go. I am letting go. And I'll leave you here in final relaxation for a moment or two. Let it go. Let go of the ways you thought life would unfold, the holding of plans or dreams or expectations. Let it all go. Save your strength to swim with the tide. The choice to fight what is here before you now will only result in struggle. Let go. Let it all go and flow with the grace that washes through your days, whether you receive it gently or with all your quills raised to defend against invaders. Take this on faith. The mind may never find the explanations that it seeks, but you will move forward nonetheless. Let go, and the wave's crest will carry you to unknown shores, beyond your wildest dreams or destinations. Let it all go and find the place of rest and peace and certain transformation. Let it go. And you can play this, you can stay in this place of rest and ease. You can find that stillness of that tree in the midst of a clearing. Or you can return sensation in your fingers and toes. You can stretch your arms out overhead, and you can stretch your legs and your feet and your toes. You can feel that energy in that long stretch through your body. And in your own time, in time, you can roll over onto one side, and if you like, press into your hands and come to a seated position. That poem was by Danna Faulds, and the quotes were from Rumi, the Sufi poet, and from the Buddha today. So thank you very much for joining me. And if you have any questions, you can contact me. I will see you next week.